Today, we're going to look at they're adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing limits. Okay? So, here's g of x. Here's the function g of x. Here's the function a of x. What if we take the limit of g of x minus h of x? Well, what's the limit of g of x here at 0? What do you think, Henry? What's the limit of g of x at 0? How about I go like that so you can see it? -1. What's h of x at 0, Christian? What's the limit of this function, the m, at 0?
Oh,
0. Okay. So then what we do is we just take -1 minus 0, which is -1. Easy peasy lemon squeezy for that. We haven't gotten the hard ones yet. Okay, find the limit, do the math. Okay? Okay, for this one, the limit as x approaches 0 of -2 times the function. Well, what's the limit at 0 there, Carson? 3. So it's -2 times 3, which is -6. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then you get to 2 of them. Like this. That this doesn't have a limit, and this doesn't have a limit, but guess what? This has a limit. And you're going, what you talking about, Mr. Bierschbach? Well, this is how it works. Coming from the left, the limit as you approach 1 is 3. Coming from the right, the limit is 1. Here, coming from the left, it's 1. Here, coming from the right, it's 3. So you take the right, and you add them together. 1 and 3 equals 4. You take the left, and add them together, and it equals 4. And if the limit matches, that's your limit. Okay? That is a little confusing. Okay? I didn't get that the first time. I just said, well, that doesn't exist and that doesn't exist, so that just doesn't exist. And I was wrong. Okay? Because you got to look at where the left ones are going, where the right ones are going, and it tells us to add them. So if they add up to be the same number, then it is that number. If they add up to be different numbers, then the limit does not exist. Let's look at this one. What's f plus h? Well, f goes to 3 here at -3, and 0 here at -3, and it's 3 here. So then we take 3 plus 3, which is 6. So from the left, it's 3 plus 3, which is 6. Coming from the right, it's 0 plus 3. Oh, I guess this is 2. Sorry, I did it wrong. That's 2. So it is 3 plus 2, which is 5. Okay, that's a 2. So coming from the left, it's 2. Coming from the right, it's 2. So then we got from the right, it's 0 plus 2, which is 2. So what do we know if they don't match? D and E. The limit does not exist. What do you think we do here with the 2? Multiply. Exactly. So we're at 3. So this is at 1. This is at 5. This is at 5. This is at 1. So coming from the left, it's 1 times 5, which is 5. Coming from the right, it's 5 times 1, which is 5. Since they match, the limit is 5. Okay? So this one, at -2, we're at 2, we're at 2, and we're at 4. And we're multiplying. Okay? So from the left, what would it be? What times what, Lindsay King? 4 times 2. And from the right, what would it be? Delaney? As we're coming from the right. This one is, and this one is. So it's 2 times 2, which is 4. So we got 8 and 4. They don't match, so the limit does not exist. Okay, composition of functions. Remember, composition of functions, we take this and plug it into that. So first we find the g function at 2. What's the g function at 2? 3, right? So then we find the f function, the limit of as x approaches 3 for f of x. Okay? So where does f approach 3 at? Well, that's at 2. Okay? So once we find the limit of this, we make that the number we're directioning for, and then we find the limit here. Okay? All right. F of g. So we find the limit of f first at 3. So at 3, we're at -1. So then the limit of g of x as x approaches -1 would be what? What's the limit there, Kate? Does not exist. Because the limit here is 2 different numbers. It approaches 2 different numbers. It does not exist. Okay? Because you have to go from this graph over to this graph because we're going f of x, find that answer, and then do the g of x. It's not both graphs at the same time like adding and subtracting. That's a composition of functions. Okay. You want to call that good for the day? Yeah. Okay. So today what we're going to do, we'll call it good. We are going to take a quiz over the first 3 sections, and you get as unlimited attempts at it. And then you've got section 1-4 homework to do. So you have those 2 things to do. Okay? Don't bother our sub. He's got a lot of homework to do for college. So let him do his thing. You guys do your thing, and everything will be good. Okay? All right. So let me put things out there. So don't say, where's our stuff? Because I'm not ready yet. So